So here we are. It's crazy because, Jess, as you know, I record most of the episodes of Sauna Talk on the sauna bench. And there you are on your sauna bench.
Yeah.
And we tried to get me on my sauna bench, but we have a little internet reach problem. So I'm up at our cabin in the north of Minnesota. And you are where right now?
So I'm in my backyard. I have a wood-fired barrel sauna that we use maybe, at least once a week, sort of as a special occasion.
Mm-hmm. Right on. And have you been using the sauna a lot more since the clampdown, since the whole COVID thing?
Yeah, I would say not a whole. I mean, I tend to use the sauna pretty regularly anyway. But it's definitely been just a great way to sort of check out for a minute and regroup. It's just been pretty stressful, obviously.
Yeah, understood.
So,
Let, let's
yeah.
let's dive right into that. I've wanted to sauna talk with you for a while. Part of the whole advance of sauna in North America has been this wonderful parallel to the resurgence of sauna in the public domain, both in Finland and now in America. And you've been an early pioneer in bringing sauna to the public. I just think, like unlike a Bed Bath and Beyond, where you can cookie cutter, a store or a TGI Fridays in different cities, what you've created in your hometown is something extremely unique. And I thought a good spot would be just to hear your story of Lolu Spa, and if you could maybe visit with us and just tell listeners what are the facilities, where are they, and then we'll back into sort of the impetus to how it started and how it got going.
Yeah, so we have two in Portland. My first location I started in January of 2006. And at the time I thought it was pretty big. It's about it's about 1,800 square feet. And then we have two little treatment rooms. But over the years, we just started to turn people away, and I just felt like, well, let's do it. So I opened a second location, which is about 2,800 square feet with two saunas. And they're both on the east side of the river, and the demand over the years just grew steadily. So we were able to fill them up with people.
Right on, right on. And if we could take the clock back before 2006, that was Lolu number one, right? Is that what you're saying? The first year that you started the first one? So take us back. First of all, let's take us way back. Like, are you from Oregon? Are you from that area?
Yeah, so Oregon most of my life, the Pacific Northwest, so Washington State a little bit, Northern California, but mostly Oregon. I grew up in Eugene, so just down the road from Portland, a couple of hours.
And how did you first become exposed to sauna as we know it?
So my very first, as a kid, kind of Oregon hippie culture definitely had saunas here and there. And the Oregon Country Fair, I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's a big, famous outdoor sort of hippie fair. And they have a really nice sauna out there. So as a kid, my mom would take me with her friends there. But then my first exposure that sort of was actually inspiring to me was actually my good high school friend. She lives out in the country outside of Eugene, and her neighbor had a really sweet little wood-fired sauna in his backyard area. And I think I was maybe, 16, 17, and we started doing that as sort of a fun teenage thing.
Right.
She has been my biggest sauna friend over the years. We ended up meeting in Finland later when she was doing an artist residency there, and we're still really close. So I owe it all to Anna.
Oh, sweet. And where is Anna? Is she in Oregon as well?
She's in Oregon, outside of Cottage Grove, which is outside of Eugene. So just
Sure.
a few 2.5 hours away.
Lovely,
Or
lovely.
Portland.
You wrote, so you went to Europe and you experienced sauna over there in your, what, early 20s?
Yeah.
And were you traveling all over in different countries, or were you visiting Anna in Finland at that time, or?
At that time, you know, I was actually visiting Anna in Greece where she lives part-time. And then my husband and I just took a little swing by Amsterdam. So, and Anna had actually told me about a public sauna there, and I had never been to one. So at the time, it was in a squatter building, which is, you know, pretty common in Amsterdam. But it was just such a amazing, fun way to spend a day and afternoon. And it was obviously incredibly inspiring to me, just to be able to, you know, the sort of typical American day spa experience has never been particularly appealing to me, of, you know, sort of being in a very confined spa environment and having a practitioner with you the whole time. I really liked the feeling of sort of being set free to wander around, to go in and out of the sauna.
Right, at your own pace. When you're hot, you leave. When you're cold, you go back in. No rules to that, huh?
Yeah, and the that first sauna I went to in Holland, you know, it was 20 euros for the day, and just sort of that affordability factor as well. It sort of struck me as, oh, this is a totally different thing. It's something that you do regularly through, you know, maybe every week, rather than, you know, going to the spa once a year for your birthday. It's just completely different. And it made me realize we just didn't have anything like that here. We have a few, you know, sauna type places in Oregon, but what I really wanted to do was sort of a very Scandinavian style that felt like a special occasion. And so that's sort of, I originally came from more fine dining restaurants, hospitality, where it's sort of a theater almost, where you have fresh flowers and white tablecloths, and it feels special. And so I kind of wanted to bring that hospitality to the sauna experience, where it would feel like, oh, this is a relief, you know, from the clutter and sort of messiness.
Or the gymnasiumness that can be the American version of that environment.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've always been very focused on the aesthetics. We have just all white walls. We always have fresh flowers. So for me, I kind of brought that fine dining aspect into the American sauna experience, and people really like it.
Beautiful. You wrote about that experience recently, and I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind reading it for listeners and viewers of Sauna Talk. It was obviously, as you describe, a formidable moment for you, I would say. And was that the diving board or the springboard that day for you to start Lolu Spa in Portland?
Yeah, it was.
Great. If you're comfortable, I'd love to hear this in your voice. Do you write a lot? Are you a writer by interest?
You know, I have spent time writing. I've taken, you know, some writing workshops over the years, and my other love is books, and so.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So take us to that day, and you were 21 years old, and you were in Amsterdam.
All right. So I went to my first public sauna in Holland when I was 21. I knew the basics and took my locker key and towel from the attendant who greeted me at the check-in desk. The entry fee was 20 euros for the day, for as long as you wanted to stay. Once in the locker room, I felt a little less sure. The women around me were all speaking Dutch. They seemed friendly enough, and so I watched them and followed their lead. Bring your towel to sit on in the sauna. Your key goes on a rubber band around your wrist or ankle. Nudity was nothing to even notice, and stark naked women strolled around the lounge area, sat drinking tea at the cafe. It had a feeling of everydayness and casual fun. Once in the sauna, I could tell the conversation was relaxed, open for whoever wanted to join in or ignore it. It was fine for me to lay there naked and just be. As my heart rate picked up, the heat took my anxiety and transformed it into sweat, which left my body in small, salty rivers. It was like full body crying. I felt my layers of worry grow thin and inconsequential. I could feel even my deepest existential fears burning off like a fog. When it was hot enough, I went to the outdoor courtyard and dumped a bucket of cold water over my body. Women and girls sat or lay naked on lounge chairs around the courtyard, chatting or resting with their eyes closed. The wind and rain felt nice on my skin, and time drifted pleasantly. I had no idea how much time had passed, and I didn't care. It was odd to feel so relaxed and to somehow occupy my body even more than usual. My heart beat hard, but it felt good. The gray sky above was like a welcoming, soft blanket, and I almost felt at home in the world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Did you revisit that as maybe a cleansing sort of way, given this period you're in, or am I reading too much into that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess in a way I've been pretty nostalgic about the public sauna experience because it's something that I can't offer right now. And, to me, it's sort of the ultimate human communal experience. It's always felt very humbling and connecting to me to share a sauna with other people. I've gone to many large public saunas around Finland, and it always just has such a sweet spirit that feels very generous. And it's a lonely time right now for a lot of people. So yes, I've been reflecting on what I have been able to offer to the public and what I can't offer right now. And yeah, it's a little bit sad for sure.
Understood. We will get through this. And as a business owner, I know it's hard. And I'm sure many of your close friends are offering encouragement and in this time. But you're in the hospitality world, and it's obviously difficult for you. Before this whole thing, you were humming along with 2 locations, reservations steady, I'm guessing, like the restaurants were full kind of a thing, if
Yep,
in the analogy.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was like life for you, say 6 months ago? I mean, were you on premise most of the time? Do you have managers, staff? What's for you personally as you were running these 2 active public sauna locations? What was a day in the life like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been very busy. I've been doing this for almost, 15 years. And we have, we also do massage as well, which has been really popular. So we have, over 40 staff members. As a business owner, you tend to do everything. So a day in the life for me which keeps it interesting. I still fix toilets and go buy paper towels and change the website and think up the monthly specials and interview people. So, it's definitely, it's been a lot. It's been
Sure.
a lot, and it goes in and out of feeling overwhelmed, but also grateful. Like there's definitely something to the idea that you really do have to love what you do if you start a business. And for me, I feel grateful that my mission, I still believe in every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to put you on the spot, can you put into words the mission?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's to bring sauna to as many people as possible, and make it a part of everyday life.
Right on.
The benefits are just huge, physical, social, emotional. And I feel like I'm always learning more about how sauna is good for you in so many ways. So
right.
It really doesn't end.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I always thought that at some point, it's like anything that's so great, whether it's a band you love or a restaurant you love, perhaps, I always sort of thought that like those examples, sauna for me would somehow sort of run its course, and then be sort of a oh hum kind of a thing. But to your point, it's not that at all. It's a record I enjoy playing, and it's a dish that I love to have. And I will say one thing on that one is I've settled into this routine. And that's why I wanted to ask you on the front end how often you are taking sauna where you're sitting right now. For me, I've sort of settled into this every other day routine, almost religiously, so to speak. And it kind of balances that for me, where I love it so much that I kind of want a day where I don't have it, just to keep things in check. And then, so like today is a sauna day, so it's that much more special. And yesterday I let it, I did not have a sauna day. So, but I can totally relate what you're saying. It's amazing how much it continues to give in ways that we don't, necessarily see coming around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I never really tire of it.
Yeah, same for that. So thank you for sharing what life was like. Things closed down, early mid-March kind of thing. I mean, all the restaurants
Yeah,
in Portland.
March 15th. Yeah.
Right. Would you go to both spas? Even, you had the key and stuff. Would you go sauna there, or did you give that space a rest for a while, or how did it work for you?
I have been almost without fail at both locations almost every day. I have a lot of plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been keeping the plants alive. I've been actually doing a lot of upgrades, putting plexiglass at the front desk, putting foot openers on the doors, putting hand sanitizer dispensers everywhere. It's actually been pretty time consuming. And then pretty much almost as soon as we closed, I launched our online store to sell some of our products, which people have been buying, which has been great. So I go down and I fill orders. I've just been really trying to keep the spaces alive and moving forward. I have no idea when we'll reopen, but I like to pretend it could be tomorrow.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been getting them ready. They're very clean. They look great.
Yeah,
So.
I saw the remodel on the showers. You had some tiling, doing some tiling work and stuff. What better time, right? You don't have to put the closed for repair sign up. You just go to work, right?
Yeah, I mean, as a business owner, I can't really stop moving forward on those sorts of things, just because my to-do list is always huge. There's so many repairs to do, and now is a great time to get them done, and it just sort of keeps the faith going for me.
Good, beautiful. Have you done the private rentals? Is this the kind of the reintroduction concept for you?
Yeah, I have been doing some private rentals now that the shop's feel in really good shape. And I have a really good protocol down as far as cleaning. And to me, it feels really good to have people in the space again. It's usually only 1 or 2 people at a time. So it's pretty luxurious.
Yeah, no, I get that. You will be able to do, you know, families or people that are in their own social circle. I mean, that's
Yeah.
certainly the adjacent possible to some normalcy, I would think, for the facilities. Is that right?
Yeah, so I feel lucky for that. I feel like it's the perfect place for people to relax and feel better. And I feel really good about being able to offer some of that.
Good, good. So the spirit's coming around for you as things evolve. I mean, it's been a quiet couple of months in terms of people coming to your facilities, but do you have a formal plan for reserving the whole facility for, you know, for private groups and that, or is this just evolving
Yeah,
as we speak?
it's evolving, but I've definitely been, you know, as I go, realizing like, okay, we need, a big chunk of time in between to sort of air out and clean. And sort I've been figuring out how many groups we could allow in a day.
Mhm.
Um,
And can that work for you operationally? Does it make sense?
I feel like that can work for a while, and eventually we will have massage again. Probably people just coming in and then leaving, but that's very up in the air as far as what our county is allowing. Personal services are not in the reopening plan yet. They'll probably be in phase one, but there's a huge amount of protocol um, for safety, obviously. And so this next week, I'm getting like a new air filtration system in the HVAC system, as well as air cleaning units in each massage room. So it's going to be expensive, but I've just, whatever I have to do.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, good for you. So that was great. That World Sauna moment. You wrote something really poetically beautiful on that, about that day. I thought it was cool. Though a lot of people from around the world participated in that. Let's all sauna alone together. Um, have you on that score? Does anything come to mind in that day? Should we do something like that again? Is that a springboard maybe to something that an idea you may have?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, I love that idea. I think, repeating something where, I have a friend who lives on the coast, and, sometimes we sauna at the same time just so we can sort of be together. And I think that would be great. I would have to think about it. Yeah.
Good, good. That springboards to a question about other proprietors, other business owners like yourself. Are you in touch with, do you collaborate with other people like yourself that own public saunas, whether in North America or around the world?
Yeah, I've been in touch with a few people around the country, and I have one woman in BC that I've been chatting with. And we have been sort of talking about, I think a lot of places are going to end up doing private groups for a while just to be able to offer their services.
Right.
And just, general commiseration. I absolutely have had, conversations with people, because there's nothing quite like it, and it is a relatively new thing that we're doing here in the States.
Hmm.
So, there's still a lot to figure out.
True. And I mean, it's not, what you're saying is also correct in the motherland. I mean, when you think about Finland, and I don't have the numbers at the top of my head, but at some point um, before World War II, before, plumbing and all that, every apartment building had a public sauna, and there were hundreds in the Helsinki area. But it was so great to see the resurgence of public sauna in the home country of Finland. Um, you've been in touch with any of the owners of those facilities?
So the Lolu there in Helsinki, Jasper, I cannot say his last name.
Yeah.
We actually met up with him and had dinner, which was fun. Last time we were there. And, you know, he's of a totally different caliber.
Yeah. It's a kind of a maximalist facility he's got going. But Finnish can support that. You know, that's it's so wonderful to see that facility. It kind of reminds me of when I was so we have a similar past. When I was about your age and you had that Amsterdam experience, I was exactly that age, living in Europe, traveling around, and I actually worked at the Hard Rock Cafe in London. And every tour bus, every American that was traveling wanted to go to the Hard Rock Cafe in London. And I felt a similar vibe at Lolu in Helsinki. It was amazing to see pretty much anybody that had a backpack or was touring or whatever. That is a location that's a mecca that young people want to see. And yeah. And Jasper, what a great guy, huh?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a fellow Sauna Talk guest. I was fortunate enough to interview him as well, and we talked about Lolu Helsinki. And now in the great world of synchronicity, I'm visiting with you about Lolu in Portland. So, and it's a very heavy term, very spiritual term. Do you want to share with guests what Lolu means and its relationship to sauna?
Yeah, so it's when you throw water on the rocks, it's the steam that comes up, but it also has a very sort of spiritual meaning. You know, it's the steam of life, and which is also a great movie. Have you seen that?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, I have. It's a great film. So yeah, the steam of life. So, and then it's interesting also. Should we talk about infrared or leave that one alone for a while?
Oh, infrared. You know, I don't even know that much about it. I sort of liken it to being microwaved or something, which I know is not necessarily true, but I feel like so much of the health benefits of sauna come from the heat itself. So you really need those heat shock proteins.
Yeah. And the density of the heat and the steam itself. So yeah, you know, I won't go into that as well. I kind of keep an arm's distance from the infrared thing myself. But if I get into the tit and the tat, you know, tit for tat with the whole thing, I can usually quiet any conversation by saying, well, where do you throw water on the rocks?
Yeah.
And it ends about there. So, but thank you for joining us with Sauna Talk. Is there anything you'd like guests to know about, you know, your past with sauna, your deep love of sauna, your commitment to it as a career, as a profession? A lot of Sauna Talk listeners have built their own saunas or are building their own saunas, or are lovers of sauna in the public domain, like you are providing for the community. Anything you want listeners to anything you want to share?
Oh, I guess for me, it's had such a big place in my life as sort of steering my life in a healthy direction. I'm also I'm a sober person, so I've been sober for 6 years, and it's just been this way for me to relax and feel good in my body, and it just encourages me to be healthy in so many other ways. But it's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right on. Yeah, beautiful. Tell us a little bit about your sauna routine or your sauna ritual. Do you have one? Is there something unique to your sauna practice, or can you share with us listeners what your routine looks like?
You know, it kind of depends on the time of day. I do like to have a first thing in the morning sauna sometimes, just roll out of bed and grab my coffee and water. My dog, of course.
Your dog looks like a total sauna pro.
He loves it. Yeah. Just for a few minutes, but
right
yeah.
Yeah. And so in the morning sauna, how many cycles or how many rounds would you do in the morning?
I usually do around 3.
Hmm.
So too much more than that, I'm feeling a little bit tired for my day. But I find 3 rounds to be really invigorating. I do like to use some essential oils, so I
Hmm.
do a little bit of spruce and mint and
Yeah.
some nice
And,
smells.
and and you introduced that with the Loli water, then the Lolu water.
Yeah.
As you think about a day when you're going to sauna, when you know you're going to sauna, what if you had to really boil it down to your favorite moment? The thinking of it, the planning of it, the lighting of the stove, round one, the first Lolu, your cool down, the whole sequence. Is there a moment that stands out for you, like this is it, or this is my favorite?
Yeah, for me, I think it's the first time you come out, and if the air is cool enough that you can see the steam coming off of your skin, and just that first cool down. For me, I just feel like so often we live in our heads, and our body's something that we just sort of carry around.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, in those moments when the steam's rising up off of your skin, and it feels very elemental. So it's like there's air and fire and water, and you're sort of engaged in that in a way that feels very corporal. And it's very much a physicality that we don't always experience in our daily lives. And I just feel uh, like I'm really occupying my body at that time.
Have you seen guests to Lolu Spa get your facilities? Do you see that moment in them where they get basically hooked or transformed, and maybe a story come to mind in that realm?
Yeah, I really have, and it's definitely what keeps me going. It's not always an easy job, and when someone tells me a story, sometimes people will even write letters just telling me how it changed their day or their life, even. A lot of times, it really helps people with their body image and sort of accepting, you know, oh, we're all just these bodies and it's okay.
Mhm.
And just being able to relax around other people and realize that, people aren't really judging you in the
Right on.
sauna.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is one thing about sauna that you think is most misunderstood that you'd like others to know, especially both of us being American? Sauna for many is something new. I mean, it's exciting. It's becoming a bigger deal. What do you think is most misunderstood?
I think that the idea that being in the sauna itself is going to be relaxing. I've that's sort of been an aha moment for people that I've helped them catch up to, is it's not necessarily pleasant to be in an extremely hot room for 20 minutes. It's like running up a hill. It feels good afterwards.
Yeah, right on, right on.
So, you kind of have to feel a little uncomfortable. You don't look, so it's like the stock photos of sauna are just, these people who aren't even sweating and their hair is dry. But like the reality of being in a sauna is you are red and dripping sweat, and it's a little bit miserable. But the feeling that you get afterwards is the reward. And so that's really helped a lot of people, like, oh, it's not necessarily like I just want to perspire lightly and then
Hmm.
step out. Like you really
Yeah,
need to.
yeah. In the analogy of exercise, they say no pain, no gain. I mean, you got to really kind of work it out sometimes.
It is the same thing.
Yeah.
And the Rhonda Patrick talks about that. Of course, her Found My Fitness researcher, sort of the dynorphin, which is the sort of feeling that I want to get out. This is hard, and it happens in exercise and it happens in sauna. So that sort of um, it's the relief from that feels good.
Totally. It's the rubber band theory of sauna also, where, you know, you can find yourself, say, re-entering the hot room because you feel a cold breeze outside, and, you know, your conditional response is like, oh my God, I want to go back in, because you maybe had a good experience getting warm. But when you rush that experience of going back into the hot room when your core hasn't completely cooled, well, now you find yourself in a tough spot because you get hot too quickly, and you end up sort of jackrabbiting back and forth, and losing any of this kind of like deep resonating complete core heat, and then the complete cold cool down. And I think, to your point, that's where those endorphins like really are released, is through that extreme of heat and cold, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So you see that with your guests transforming themselves into sauna pros with longer heat ups and cool downs.
Yeah, sometimes they come in at first and they say it's too hot in there, and you know, I say just stick with it for a few minutes, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
And you have to jump in the cold shower, and once I talk them into that, then they get it.
Yeah, it's right. It's like starting an engine, right? Like once you get it running, it's becomes quite comfortable. The extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you. A couple other quick questions. Well, I got you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So more kind of spiritual questions in a way. You know, you're well traveled around the world and stuff. Is there a place that comes to mind if you could, like, have a mobile sauna, say, and bring it anywhere in the world, and enjoy a sauna? What's the first place that comes to mind for you?
You know, for me, I would have to say Stanley Lake in Idaho. It's a beautiful mountain lake. It's snow melt. It's so cold. It's where I went to on my honeymoon. And I've always thought, you know, having a little mobile sauna there would just be perfection.
Sounds great. Another abstract one is, if you could sauna with anybody in the world, sort of dead, alive, in the past, the present, future, who's the first person that comes to mind for you to sit on the sauna bench with?
You know, right now in my life, with the way the world is, I'm really missing my friends. I think I would have to say I would like to sauna with Anna, my original friend who, you know, showed me the ways, and I really miss her, and we just have such a good understanding of each other, and she loves sauna as much as I do. We went to Finland and we did 10 saunas in 10 days together, and it was the best time of my life. So I think I'd have to hop in a sauna with Anna.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you. Jess, I can't thank you enough. You know, it's like sometimes these constraints offer these opportunities, and I'd love to be having my microphone sitting on the bench with you, but I feel like we've saunaed together. This was a great time. Any closing remarks? Hello to Anna out there in the world, and maybe this dream will be true soon for you. And I wish you well with that. Any parting words?
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I feel like it's so easy to make friends with other people who love sauna. They're the fastest friends. So that's my wish for our world and this life, is that we'll be able to sauna with strangers and new friends again soon.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you. All right. Bye.